What is up? Okay, so today I have a bit of a growth playbook for you guys. I see a lot of high ticket businesses out there that are doing something very different to the average person who is trying to run and grow to $1 million businesses themselves right now. That is just fast tracking the growth. It's just a force multiplier for the people who are doing it, as opposed to the people who aren't. And I've just seen ingredients of things where people who are winning, who continue to win, who make it seem like it's really easy. The guys who are in the programs that you might be in that you look at and go like, why am I not winning the same way as them? There's 9 things that I can boil it down to that these guys are doing differently that I'm going to share with you guys today that I think will make a massive impact on the results that you are getting as well. Most people right now struggling with low sales volume, high distrust in the market, and a really low lead quality, like the call quality you're getting on calls, like brokies and all sort of stuff, right? And it sucks. And I think one of the bigger issues for a lot of you guys is all your people who you want to work with have worked with someone just like you before, meaning that if you're an agency, they've already worked with an agency. If you're a coach, you've already worked with a coach. If you're a consultant, they've already worked with a consultant. They've all had a bad experience, right? Someone didn't deliver on the promises they initially said that they would. And as a consequence of that, you are copying the arse end of that. And that's a little bit unfair, but we have to play to what the people who came before us have created, which is a trust recession, is an economic recession where there's actually an economic downfall, but there's a way to actually help people through that by becoming the savior for them right now, as opposed to the person that makes them feel like you're just going to take their money and not deliver on the promises like everyone else has fucked them over in the past. And that's just not who you want to be. There are a bunch of people who are winning and winning really, really bigly right now. And I want to show you through what they. Client of ours named Tyler Hoyt has gone from 10 grand to, it's actually 60 grand a month right now in the past 15 weeks. It's insane the type of growth that he's had. I'm watching him win in our program as opposed to a lot of the other clients who aren't winning as quick as he is. And he's following all 9 of these things really simply. And they're not hard, they're not crazy, but they are perspective shifts that I think drive a different behavior. And the different behavior goes a 6x in your company in the space of 4 months or something to the effect of that. And if you can embody these, you can probably start to see the same results in yourself as well. If you're new here, my name is Chris Morrison. For the past 3 years, high-ticket business owners like marketing agencies, consultants, coaches, have all hired me to help them fix their messaging, to get better clients, their sales processes and team issues to be able to have to crush building $1 million business for you so you can actually build the business that you wanted to that serves you as opposed to needing to be solely responsible for it by yourself as well. I've personally helped hundreds of clients build $1 million businesses, at least the infrastructure and team that drive it for them. Anyway, I've sold over 420 people into our high ticket offer and have built a team of CSM sellers and sales reps that actually sell anywhere between 10 to 15 units per month into our offer with or without me in the process too. So anything I tell you here comes from my experience plus clients' experience at the same time too. We're going to get into the 9 things that actually help people grow really fast right now. This is probably my favorite one. Number 1, right? Most people who are winning right now, I'm not seeing thinking like an agency or thinking like a coaching company or thinking like a consultant. I have a core belief that the companies that do the best do not see themselves like a insert what they say they are on the front end. They as if they are a sales organization. I remember a really long time ago, I have a friend that owns a supplement company and they're probably one of the largest in the world. It's called EHP Labs. And they came from nothing and absolutely started soaring really quickly in the market. And so many people were wondering why they didn't do well, why they weren't winning, why EHP can come in and crush it as opposed to the effort I've been putting in for years and I'm not seeing the same results. And what I remember really deeply after chatting with, or at least observing my buddy who owns a company, what they were doing differently and how they're actually winning and what the other companies who are watching them soar are doing in a little bit of jealousy, wondering why they aren't having the same experience that they are, was EHP Labs were never a supplement company. They were a marketing and sales organization that sold supplements. And as a consequence of being a marketing and sales organization that sold supplements, realistically, they could have sold anything to anyone because they crushed getting their ideal client into a position where they wanted to buy. And then as a sales organization would, they sold the fuck out of the people who wanted to buy the thing. And as a consequence of that, they just had this astronomical growth. And what I'm noticing is that the people who are winning and winning really well in their agency, coaching, or consulting companies right now are not acting like agencies, coaches, or consultants. What they're actually acting like are sales organizations that absolutely murder the sales function of their business on a daily basis. And they wake up and they don't think about anything other than, how do I drive sales for at least the first half of the day, if not multiple days per week, where all they're thinking about is, what can I do for the next 7 hours to get myself anywhere between 3 calls booked today and 1 client signed today? They are just thinking like sales organizations first, that once they sign clients up, then deliver on marketing, coaching, or consulting that they have sold. And what I'd noticed is that a lot of the companies that we've worked with, or the clients that we've worked with that have done really well, are just, they identify, their pronouns are salesperson, right? They wake up and they look for the next person to sell. They look for the next person to help. They look for the next person to help create the outcomes of the transformation that their offer actually delivers on, independent of what the offer is. And what I think is really interesting, I think that the people who do the best, even if they weren't selling the thing that they're currently selling, they would still win because they wake up and their daily behaviors are one of a unbelievably crazy strong salesperson who would drive sales in whatever it is that they were doing, because they are a salesperson. They are not a agency, coach, or consultant. They are a salesperson that fucking sells. And what I've noticed is that amateurs wake up and they go straight into client delivery. And what I've realized, the rationale after exploring and looking through a lot of clients, like internal teams, conversations, and speaking with so many different people on the front end before they ever become a client, they typically don't grow because they wake up and the first thing on their mind is, I need to deliver for the clients that I've actually currently got right now. And I know where it comes from. It comes from a good place because you want to do a good thing. But if you were to peel all the layers away, it's actually because you're scared of losing the people that you've currently got is one reason. And if you didn't deliver for these people, then you would lose them. And as a consequence of losing them, you wouldn't get the life that you want, etc. And what I realized, the biggest core underpinning feeling, experience, or fear is that if I don't deliver for these people, then I will lose them. And if I lose them, I will have a bad perception in the market. And if I have a bad perception in the market, then no one will trust me. And if no one trusts me, I will not actually be able to sign more clients. And I understand this. And a lot of people end up bottlenecked in delivery because they're waking up and going straight into thinking about why my clients aren't getting the best results they humanly can. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, and it doesn't mean that the results you are getting aren't good. And sometimes the results that you aren't getting or are getting aren't fully in your control, but what you do from there is it becomes your problem, right? So you absolutely have to do something from there to drive the change and actually create the impact that you want. And what I notice is that the people who don't do well typically wake up, go into delivery, and then figure out, they sit there wondering why the hell they aren't getting the results that they want. And they're pissed off that they aren't having people show up on their front doorstep saying, hey, how can I pay you money today? And what I notice that ends up happening to these people is they end up typically stagnating anywhere between 10 to 30 grand a month. And they stagnate and they're angry and they feel resentful and they watch other people in programs wondering why they crush. And the biggest thing they have inside is like wondering, when is it going to be my turn to do the same? What I notice with people who do really well though, is they don't have a fear of not getting results for their clients. What they do is they wake up and they structure their whole day around selling new clients and put the literal hours in to do this. And what I mean when I say the literal hours into doing this is like the first 5 to 6 hours of the day is they are focused on, how do I get new clients? Like if I don't have a call on my calendar today, I'm going to get calls. And they will actively go out of their way to for the first half of their day, drive their current business forward, whether that's within themselves or whether that's within getting call volume for their team and training their team up to be able to sell units or whatever else that it is. They are literally putting the hours into driving the performance of the company and growing their own revenue every single day for at least the first half of the day, so that when they get to the afternoon, now they have a significant amount of cash flow that has come in from the clients that they have been able to actually enroll into their program or agency or whatever actual offer it is that they're selling. And as a consequence of that, you can hire the best delivery team in the world, the best CSMs, the best setters, the best salespeople to actually create the best outcomes for your clients. And instead of you needing to be responsible for all of that, you just get to drive new revenue and drive new campaigns and get the brand and respect that you want in the market, as opposed to sitting there wondering when the whole things are going to turn into your lap, as opposed to actually going out there and fucking getting it, right? These guys aren't wondering how the hell are we going to get the result. They're wondering how the hell are we going to sell the units to get the cash flow to hire the best team to get the best results, because I know that I am only one person, and if I'm multiple people, I can get the best results in the world. And they're wondering, how many units can I sell right now? They get to the middle of the week and they're wondering, how many units can I sell before the week is out? How many calls do I have on the calendar right now? Because if I know if I have 3 calls, I will sell one client. If I can get that one client, then I'll put myself in a position where I can actually get anything I want in this fucking world if I can sell 1 to 2 clients up per week. Because cash flow just continually goes in. I can buy the best team. We retain clients at 80% or plus or more. And monthly recurring revenue just keeps going up and up and up and up. These guys build great culture. The teams that they have that come in actually create a world where they actually want to work there because they see the growth of the company and they're really fucking excited to be able to do so as well. They also don't expect setters and closers to get in and be the only people who actually drive revenue for the company. I noticed the people who run pro sales organizations, like the owners that crush shit, actually get in there and they still sell units themselves every single week, because creates a world where you no longer have a sales rep who can turn around and say, hey, these leads are shit. If you're in there selling units with the exact same leads that they have too, they can't complain about lead flow. They can't complain about call volume. They can't complain about any of these different things, because the sales leader, i.e. in many cases for a really long period of time, the company owner up until at least probably 250 grand a month, is going to be you. And what you need to do is you need to get in there and sell, so that you can actually show people that independent of all the things that they might have that are excuses or objections to getting the result that they are saying, like, you're getting the result too, and they can model what you're doing and they can get the results that you are getting. And as a consequence of that, you have a deep culture of winning on your team, and people are not sitting there wondering why the fuck you aren't growing at the rate that you want. Now, for a sales rep who might be working for you, one of the biggest things that they actually fear is, the company I'm going to work for, do they have good delivery systems, and do they get the results that they promises to the market actually say that they will? Now, the goal is get cash, get the best delivery team in the world to make sure that any promise you make unbelievably exceeds the expectations that the markets currently have. And if you can do that, and when you do that, you can attract reps who will rush for you. But if you are the person who isn't in there proving that it's possible for them in the first place, the likelihood of that happening is just so fucking low. And amateurs get stuck between 10 and 30 grand a month because they don't think like a sales organization who is just looking to drive sales and grow the fucking company. And as a consequence of that, you wonder why things aren't moving at the rate that you. Whenever I see a client come in as a sales organization, I just watch them go through the moon, surpass everyone in the market and crush and go to the moon, metaphorically, or even categorically, from 60 grand to 200 grand, or Tyler Hoyt went from 10 to 60 grand in 3 months. You've got Carlos Luna, who went from 6 to 66K. So it was a legitimate 11X in 9 weeks. These guys are just hopping in and finding where the next person to sell is on any given morning or any given day. And as a consequence of that, they're fucking winning and they grow like crazy. The people who do not are the ones who are in there wondering why I am not getting the results that I want, and beating themselves up, then abdicating the responsibility of being a salesperson because they fear taking people on, because what if they can't deliver the results or whatever else that it is, as opposed to the guy who just gets the fuck in there and sells the fuck out of people so they can actually get the cash flow to buy the best delivery team and deliver on the promises and spend the night all night long delivering if you need to, but you're selling all day long, right? Sell all morning, deliver all afternoon, right? You can fit all of it in. Your time management is fucking terrible and you're going into delivery first. And that's stupid, man. Really fucking stupid. It's not what Carlos did when he started working with us, right? Prior to that, he was sitting in and around that 6 to 12 grand a month and he was getting smoked, right? Worrying about the delivery, stuck in the day to day, not actually getting the results that he wants. 6 grand to 66 grand in 4 months and hired a team of 9 to actually get into the delivery and crush the actual promises that the clients are paying for every single day. And he has that legitimate time freedom to be able to focus back on vision, mission, and the big things that people actually want to get into the CEO role of their company and everything else as well. He's doing that right now, which is fucking insane. And questions I'd be asking myself if I wanted to shift from an amateur to someone who's growing a legitimate sales organization on any given day. Who am I asking to become a client today? These are the questions that they're asking every single day. Who am I asking to become a client today so they can go and do that? Well, who needs me right now in my pipeline that I can hop on, ask to become a client and get into a sales call to sell them into a better future? What does my behavior need to look like in order for me to get 3 clients this week? Who's the closest person in my pipeline that I can sign today? These are the questions that people that run sales organizations are constantly asking themselves so that they can actually move through to the next stage of their business as opposed to suffering like many, many people are. It's asking yourself these questions and then running the behavior of the person that would actually deliver on these things that will actually create the outcomes that you want. And people who aren't doing this are suffering, and I don't want that to be you. So first one is think like a sales organization, not like a insert company that you say that you are. Second one is they are never doing the work endlessly. They are actively thinking about the work that I'm doing right now is not just the work. They're not stuck in the work. They aren't sitting there wondering, am I going to be doing appointment setting for the rest of my life? Am I going to be doing delivery for the rest of my life? They're not sitting there resenting the work. They have what I call a systems thinking that is designed around, if I do the work, now creates the playbook from the results that I've gotten for a team member to be able to come in and crush and scale with playbooks that have worked for me and my offer. So when I do the work, it's not about me having to do the work. It's about me creating a playbook for my team to be able to come in and crush. People who generally stay stuck for a long time are stuck because they can't see themselves past the task that they're doing, whether it's setting, delivery, sales, whatever else that it is. And you start resenting yourself. And you start not doing it and start looking for different solutions for hoping someone else can take over the responsibility for you. And as a consequence of that, you hire a setter or hire a closer or whatever else that it is, and they don't perform. And then you end up thinking it's them. And now you hate all setters and closers and all these different things. But deep down, it's because you just didn't have the right stuff in place to be able to make them win. Now, the way I see this is different. Is first thing first is like you want to do the work. Right? Like you want to be the person that gets in there and does the work. You want to do the setting, sales, and delivery so that you can actually, for your particular offer, find out what is it that's going to work for my offer, for my business, for my clientele, for my target market. Like what do they need to hear, see, say, touch, feel for them to actually want to work with me in my marketing, in my setting, in my sales, in my delivery to actually deliver on the promises? Like what actually works for us in particular that I can document into a playbook that I can bring team into so that when team walk into working with me, being it setters, CSMs, closers, delivery specialists, or whatever else that it is, they can walk in and go, oh, cool. Like I can see the plays that you guys actually have to win. An example of this is non-business related is people don't win Super Bowls because they just come in and go, what are we going to do this year? It's what needed to happen to win the Super Bowl last year if we won it? And how do we run the same plays, right? Or what team is running the best plays right now that we can model to actually crush and be able to create a world where we can come in and have our opportunity to win our proverbial or our own version of the metaphor of a Super Bowl in our own business, if that makes sense. And we want to have a playbook that creates a world where they can come in and crush from day one and exceed expectations from day one without having to try to figure things out. And that's where you get to have a team crush your growth for you, as opposed to you needing to actually have to do all of it yourself. But if you can't see past the work that you are doing, how can you ever expect that you're going to create a world where you're going to want to do it as opposed to resenting doing it? The idea is do the work so you can document it to have team to come in and actually crush the growth for you, right? Most people can't see past the stage. You forget that the work builds a playbook, which builds a team that actually builds the business that serves the life that you really want. Yes, doing the work is really frustrating and fucking annoying. But if you just shut the fuck up and do the work and build the playbook and get the team that crushes the execution for you, you will be able to have a sustainable long-term growth in business that absolutely crushes and has someone else execute on the vision that you have for you. It's called systems thinking. When you do it in the terms of I do setting, I do closing, I do delivery, I speak to clients, so I can build the playbook that brings a team that can exceed expectations for me. And when you do that, you can become the front-facing brand of a multi-million-dollar company that you have for so long wanted to have. When I work with a client to help them do this, I want to help you build an offer, right, that your ideal client, someone who's already a rich person, would look at and say, I need to work with you, and how the fuck do I pay you? I want to make sure your content speaks to the pain points that they're actually looking to solve. Then make sure your scripting directly fits that. Then make sure that the actual stuff that you do crushes. We review all calls, we review all your marketing, review all your offers, review all your two-step posts, review all the things that drive the results until it's impossible for you to not win. For you to lose or not win, right? Either or. So I can then help you build the playbook and help document everything that works for you in particular, then help you bring in a team of VA setters, CSMs, or closers, and actually have them see what success looks like from day one, as opposed to it needing to be some fucking mystery for them, or you needing to have a unicorn. Because when you have the playbook, you don't need a unicorn. You just need a body who is highly motivated, who can follow the fucking process for your offer in particular. And when we help you bring people like that in, we can help you train them up to performance and actually have you in a position where they crush sales targets for you for your sales organization that we spoke about earlier. Number 2 was make sure that you are doing the work with the intent of building the playbook so you can bring the team in and not feel like you have to do things forever, like you have these golden handcuffs that you're stuck to. You build the sales organization mindset, you get yourself in a position where you actually have the effort you're putting in, turning into playbooks that bring team in, and you will grow like crazy. The people who are doing the best are thinking like that, and they are crushing the outcomes they want. They're not wondering where the fuck the next client is coming from. The next one is something that I talk about a lot, but it's worth repeating, is that the people who do the best don't think about how do I just get a client. They think about how do I get clients and how do I solve bigger and richer problems for the people that I do want to work with? Because I solve a bigger, richer problem for someone who's at a higher level, and I now get the privilege of being able to charge higher prices, which buy me a better team, which give me more profit, which give me a better outcome in life and easier clients to work with, easier people to get the results for, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What I've noticed is people can't somewhat conceptualize this sometimes, but I'll give you some examples, right? People who are looking to buy Lamborghinis don't go to a car yard that say that they have Toyotas. People who are looking to buy real delicious marble score 9 steak aren't going to a place that talks about how good their chicken nuggets are. Celebrities who are looking for a personal trainer aren't out there looking for regular personal trainers. They're looking for celebrity trainers who understand what they're currently going through, their workload, the things that they experience that no one else would understand. People who are looking for designer stuff like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, or the designer bags or whatever else that it is, aren't going to a discount store to try and find them, or people who say that they have discount brands. People who are broke tend to find themselves looking for things that would be perceived as broke people problems. People who aren't broke anymore typically look at those problems and they don't even consider the idea of opting into the things that you were talking. Rich people want rich people problems solved, and broke people don't even think that rich people problems are possible for them because they have this mindset or belief that where they're at will never happen for them. So if your messaging speaks to brokies, it's unlikely you're going to actually be able to attract the experienced business owners that you actually want. And the people who I see who are crushing, the people who I see who are building fast growing high ticket businesses are not talking about broke people problems. They're talking about problems that high level business owners are experiencing on a daily basis. Your ideal client might currently be doing 50, 100, or even 500 grand a month, isn't worried about problems they've already solved. Most of these guys have already solved the lower level problems like, how do I get leads? How do I get calls? How do I get sales? Like they've already, they know how to do that stuff. Now they have bigger problems like, how do I acquire new companies? How do I sell my company? How do I fix my profit issues? How do I get more profit for the effort that I'm putting in? How do I fix my low performing sales team issues? How do I get my sales team better call volume for the actual amount of money that they need to make to be able to sustain the results that they're getting so they can stay in my company, keep driving revenue for me so I can create the outcomes for them that I want for me in my life and them in their life as well. And if you speak to a pain point that your ideal client has already graduated from, why the fuck would you expect them to care about your marketing, you, and the promises that you are putting out in the market if they don't believe that you can help them because they've already overcome the things that you were talking about? It's insane to consider that. One of the first things I work on when I work with a client is helping them reposition their marketing offers and the way that they communicate their promise to the market so that they stop attracting brokies and start eliciting the attention of people who are already fucking crushing it, who just want to soar and go faster, as opposed to needing to find a way to get money so they can fucking pay for what you're doing, right? That's really hard. We make sure that what you're speaking to doesn't speak to brokies who can't pay for your stuff. We're going to reposition it so it's actually something you can charge significantly higher prices for so that you can hire the team, so that you can get significantly better calls on the calendar for your sales team, or so that you can actually just bring the income in with people that you want to work with where you aren't suffering, wondering, when the fuck is this going to get better? And what's interesting is that the people who are doing really well have noticed this. They have noticed that it's really easy to talk about low-level problems because everyone is. You're just essentially copying, but when you do that, it's a race to the bottom in the market. And if you're competing with everyone else who's talking about the same shitty problems, how can you ever expect to scale in the way that you wanted to in the beginning? And if you can get this dialed in and you can start figuring out what the higher level problems are that your ideal client might be experiencing, be it sales team issues, be it profit issues, be it average order value level going up, be it getting new businesses to acquire. It could be a multitude of different things. When you figure that out, you can then put yourself in a position where you can actually start easily attracting the people who you actually want to work with, and you start being able to very easily scale the company up without worrying where the hell your next good client is going to come from. Not just client. Like if you're here right now, you already know how to get clients, right? You want to learn how to get the clients you actually want to work with, as opposed to the clients that you might be getting on calls that you have to do low down payments for, or whatever the fuck it is, that are destroying your soul right now. And we don't want that for you. So we need to be speaking to rich people problems as opposed to the brokey problems you might be speaking to in the market right now. And when you get that and you are acting like a sales organization and you have your playbooks being developed really effectively, that rich people problem stuff that you talk about will just make it really fucking easy for when you have a team coming in to be able to win and win quickly, because it makes life easy for your delivery team. It makes life easy for your sales team. It makes life easy for your CSM team when the people who come in are actually a fit for the offers that you are selling. And boy, can you scale to the fucking moon when you can prove that you can get those results too. So that's the first three. Number 4, though, is they would not hop on a call with someone unless the person that they've spoken to or they're about to speak to has already gone through content that can pre-sell them on the idea of working with them and why working with them is the best option for them as opposed to working with someone else. And they've already got them to buy in to what their methodology is and why they should work with them way before they show up to a call. Now, the reason why this is what the smartest people are doing is because they don't want to waste time. They don't want to waste time on calls with people who don't want to buy, who don't want to actually say, hey, just take my money. They want people who want what they're selling. They want people who want to buy the offer that they have. And they don't want to hop on a call to have to explain that to someone. They want someone hopping on a call who already wants the thing that they're selling and is just there to find out, how is this going to actually fit my particular situation? They don't want all the objections. They don't want all the hard sales necessities. They just want someone to show up and say, I fucking get it. How do we make this work between you and me? And what needs to happen to get me started as humanly possible? As soon as humanly possible, sorry. And when you can figure that out, all you need to do is then have a process to get people to book the calls, to be able to get people on a calendar, to get them to go through what we call a pre-call conversion set, to be able to pre-sell themselves on us, the results we get, the way we actually get the result, the methodology, and overcome a bunch of the objections that they are commonly going to have. When we actually have the ability to actually have someone do that and do that before they get to a call, all we need to do is get our team to funnel people through to calls and get them to go through our pre-call sequence, essentially, that has someone pre-sell themselves before we actually get them onto a call. So there's no resistance. There's no, who the fuck are you? Why would I buy from you? There's no, why on earth would I want to do this? There's no, can you just fucking tell me what you guys do? They already know. They already have someone showing up to a call who has been pre-sold on, this is exactly what we did with another client just like you, and maybe you send them a case study on that to overcome some of the, will this work for me objections? Or maybe you show them something about the process itself and why it specifically fits the exact problem they're experiencing right now. And they show up to the call going, oh my fucking God, where have you been for the past XYZ time? This is why it didn't work with all those other people that burnt me in the past. And now that I see that you are here, dude, it's like, I just want to get fucking started. The people who are winning and winning the best are not sitting there wondering, how the fuck do I actually just get calls? Sure, they're acting like a sales organization and they're getting as many calls as they humanly can. But they're wondering, how do I get them pre-sold before they get to a call? And they're hand-selecting content to give to people to get them to watch prior to a call so that they get there and they get their bought in, so that they actually have a conversation about, this is how we're going to help you. This is the promise I'll make to you. I think we should get started. Why the fuck haven't we met and done this in the past and done this before, right? If you don't have something like this, you just make things significantly fucking harder for yourself. Have something that creates a world where they actually get to a call well pre-sold, because they can see the results that have worked for someone just like them in the past and know that you can actually get them to a world where you can help them get the exact same too. So you're a sales organization who pre-sells people, who builds playbooks as opposed to worrying about doing the work yourself, and you are attracting rich clients now. This is what the smartest people are doing. And the smartest people also know that, independent of having great lead flow coming through, it's never expected that they are going to be able to just hit their sales targets with new lead flow coming in. And they realize that they are going to have to hunt to get more sales than just the calls they have on the calendar right now. And they have figured out that all the people that are sitting in their pipeline that they would have maybe in a dead leads category, or in a past unconverted sales calls, or past leads that didn't convert, that most people would sit there and say are dead leads. They realize that there is so much money to collect in that. And they have behaviors between themselves and their team that every single week, every single month, every single quarter, they have a list of people that they know are the hottest people in that list right now, that they are constantly reaching back out to and saying, hey, motherfucker, are you still currently experiencing the problem that you said that you were a month ago? And is now a better time for us to actually start working together? Or maybe they're sitting there talking about, hey man, I know that the last time we spoke, you said that you had an issue with average order value. I just put together a training on how to actually for your average order value by doing these 2 new product SKUs that most people aren't even considering right now, that don't take anything else out of your inventory, and it's just a bundle deal or whatever the fuck that it is. Would you like me to send this across to you so that I can actually make sure that you don't actually have this as a problem? And then you can actually start a new conversation with that person to actually create a world where you can start the sales process again with them from someone you spoke with maybe 6 months ago. Or maybe what you're doing is that you're going through all the people that didn't convert from the last 3 months, and you're reaching back out to them and saying, hey, is now a better time to actually get started? Or maybe you're considering the objection that prevented them from actually getting started in the first place and sending out a reoffer to them that kills the objection that they initially had and makes a re-pitch possible, because now you have the ability to actually create a world where they can actually see that you had a solution to the problem they initially didn't have in the first place. The people who I see who are winning and winning the best are not actually worried about the volume of leads they get this month, because they know that they can actually go into their pipeline and still get 6 to 10 clients from people that they've spoken to in the past 12 months or 18 months. We've had clients that have started working with us who haven't been just watching for a year. We have clients who started with us that have been in the audience who first opted into something, either to an ad or something else, from fucking 924 days. You're talking like the 3 years, right? And I think most people who don't win aren't acting like the sales organization that has the behaviors, that manages the pipeline well enough, proactively, by the way, not some automation bullshit. They're actively discerning where are my hottest leads and what do I need to do to get that hottest lead back on a call, and how the fuck do I get that person into a position where I can get them back in the buying pocket so that I can actually sell them and get money from all the effort, time, and money that I've spent in the past to get the leads that we currently have. And they know that the new leads that they get from the rich person positioning, etc., are just cream on top. They don't need them to actually get the money. They don't need them to sign the clients. They don't need them to grow revenue. They don't need them to do all of that. What they're doing is they are crushing reoffers and crushing repitch and crushing dead leads and crushing what we call NRTRO marketing, which is pipeline marketing, which is finding new reasons to reach out. We call it NRTRO. And NRTRO stands for new reason to reach out. And we're always looking for a new reason to reach out to an old lead that we've spoken to get them back in the buying pocket and sell them again, or get the opportunity to sell them. And I see the best companies doing that, as opposed to always wondering, when the fuck is my next lead going to come in? Because some weeks I'll put an offer out that gets 500 fucking leads. And some weeks I'll put an offer out that gets 5. And on the weeks that we get 5, we still sell the same amount of units in the weeks that we did when we got 500, because our behavior is aligned with the outcome that we want, independent of the lead flow that comes in. And as a consequence of that, we fucking crush. And the people who I see who do the best model the same. The people that you see go from 40 grand to 150 grand in the space of a couple of months are not doing it with just new lead flow. They're doing it with new lead flow and unbelievably good pipeline behavior health to get people back on a call who didn't buy in the past, or who didn't hop in a call in the past, or have been in the audience for God knows how long. Content engagers, past 2-step opt-ins, past ad leads, people on your email list, whoever the fuck it is, people who should have bought but didn't. These are the people who are sitting there who essentially owe you money. And they are only going to give it to you if you put the right thing in front of them at the right time. So many people are just not ready when you want to sell them. And you need to be back into their inbox as often as humanly fucking possible to be able to actually get them to a place where they'd be willing to buy from you yet again. Please don't fucking neglect that. The best offer owners do not, and they sign up anywhere in addition to the sales that they currently get from the front end, which might be 1 to 2 a week. You can get from 1 to 4 additional clients a week just from not fucking up your pipeline behaviors and health, by actually not reaching back out to people at frequency and not making it a part of your active cadence for your team and for yourself. If your team are not doing this, bro, send them to us. You need to come and work with us. And it's stupid if they don't. So sales organizations who have rich people problems being marketed to coming in, who build playbooks to actually crush it and are now crushing with pipeline as well. The sixth thing is that they don't just market. They market and they have a big vision and mission that they market. And they get people into the actual idea of what they're trying to do. As opposed to just saying, I want to get to 100 grand a month. It's, we want to change something in our market and build a company that helps people who work with us also create the life that they want as a consequence of working within us at the same time too. And they are not just trying to grow companies. They are trying to bring a vision to life that typically serves an extremely deep mission that typically also involves their team, potential clients, and existing team. And they constantly keep getting them to buy into the problems that they are solving and where they're going and get their market excited and their company excited and getting people wanting to fight lions to bring these outcomes together as well. So for me, our company mission is to fix the conversation at the dinner table that you might be having at home with wifey for high-ticket business owners, where she might be sitting there wondering when the fuck are things going to turn around for you, right? You've probably sat there at the dinner table yourself where wifey has wondered when things are going to turn around, right? And it's a hard conversation to have, and shame and guilt can come into the chat to eat at you. And the idea is that we want to help men who are struggling in that fix inconsistent sales to be able to go from that 10 grand or 20 grand to the 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 grand so that wifey never has a consideration or a question about what you are going to do and the results that you're going to get and the results that you said that you're going to get. And she can trust you so that she can give you the privilege of being able to say, go and fucking go bigger. I trust in you and I need you to do this for us and the family. And we want to then fix the inconsistent sales issues that help you get the cash flow to fix a team issue to be able to create a world where now you have team who take over the day-to-day so you can buy your time back and with the profit from the business, spend time with the family, give your kids a life that helps them build their character up to become the version of you that you couldn't have been prior to you having these skills as well, so they can build the best life that they want possible and have profits that exceed expectations that you can put into real estate or some form of investment that buys you income and compounded recurring investment that comes in. So maybe one day you no longer want to work anymore. You probably will want to, but you definitely don't have to work anymore, right? But because you're a mission-driven company vision entrepreneur who wants to grow and see amazing change happen, like fighting for a mission that you deeply want to fight for, you'll probably still work. But the idea is that we help fix that for you and then help you do the same for your team as well. I want to make sure that the effort you're putting in is not just effort that you are putting in for you. It's also effort that helps you fix those same conversations for your team, for the conversations that their wife is having with them about when the fuck are things going to turn around? When are we going to be able to see you create the income that you said that we would for our family, or create the security that you said that we would for our family? And I want to help you create a world where you never have to worry about where your income's coming from, and you have the time freedom to be able to actually spend the time with your family and create that life, but also be able to confidently say that the team that you have are also in a position where they can create the life that they want, and they can make the income that they want, and they can get the life outcomes that they want as a consequence of working in your company and as a consequence of being in your vision. And the best entrepreneurs that I see create a vision and mission that is so fucking big that the ideal people that you want working with you can actually see their own life's vision and purpose inside your vision and mission. And if you can share the idea of how big you're going to, how many people you're going to help, and the security that you can create, and the income that you can create, and the life desires that you can create, the cool shit, the outcomes that you guys actually really want. And they can see their own life vision exceeded by working in your company. And then your clients can see the change that you're making, and your clients can see that when they work with you, that you help them bring their vision to life as well. It's the people who are constantly refining and building a bigger, deeper vision and mission in stuff like this that I see sustain and crush shit long term, because they are actively thinking about the actual outcomes that they want to have, that they want to see their team have, and that they want to see their clients have, and that they're constantly thinking about how can I make the vision bigger so I can fit more people's visions inside mine, and have them execute on helping us serve the mission that we are on and build their own life inside the vision that we have in the way that they want to see it happen as a consequence of doing that as well. The people who do this, I see make millions and millions and millions in a way that make them feel like they are doing the same level of effort and work that they were doing when they were making 10 grand a month. And it's all because they built something that they had people see, that they could see themselves sitting in and building with you on, because they can see their life's dreams coming through the actual mission that you guys are working on together, because they can see the income, the lifestyle, and the actual outcomes that they want to be working on to actually help people get the results that you guys are asking of them to get, because you have built the vision in such a way that is appealing to them. They can see them make the money they want and get the life outcomes they want to. It's when you do that, and when you constantly remind the market of these things, that you will see a world where they will flock to you. I have sales reps coming to ask to work with me every fucking day. I have CSMs reaching out to work with us every single day. And it's because I'm constantly focused on how do I make sure that we make the income that helps our team make the income that helps them work on the work that they want to work on, to actually help them create the life outcomes that they want and feel like they are progressing and reaching the life vision that they had of inside out off. And I'm constantly posting proof of that, constantly showing the income that the team are making. I'm constantly showing the work that they're doing, constantly showing the teams they're building under themselves, to put them in a position where they're getting career opportunity growth, where it's actual leadership positions that they get the opportunity to go into. So it's not just them working on the same stuff every day too. They're actually getting career progression at the same time too. It's the people who are constantly thinking about that stuff as opposed to just thinking about how the fuck do I get my next client, that build companies that build themselves, because the team build the company for you, and you just build the people up who build the fucking team and company for you. When you can get team who act like the sales organization, who think about the rich problems for you, who help develop the playbooks for the new team coming in, who want to do the work, who want to crush things with and for you. When you get the team in who have seen the vision like that, and they can see that they can see themselves getting career progression, the income they want, and the work they want to work on, and the life outcomes that they want as a consequence of working with you, and they can see it. There's evidence, there's proof. Other people are doing it right now under your leadership. They will do all the stuff that we're talking about here for you, as opposed to you needing to do it all yourself. And the people who crush are not reliant on them needing to do it themselves, because they've built that vision. And that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm expecting all of you guys to do now that you're watching this too. And that's what I'm seeing the people who are crushing and doing the best are doing as well. I see another thing that separates people from the pack, the ones who just have exponential growth, is like, they buy into coaching programs, yes. They look for help. They look for the network. They look for the person that can help them do the thing. But they're actually the person who can figure the fucking thing out themselves as well. And in most cases, they actually have figured it out themselves. But what they're buying is speed. It's not that they are fucking hopeless and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. It's that they are so good at figuring things out that they know exactly what they want, and they know exactly what needs to happen, and they know exactly what they need to have done, that they are so frustrated at the fact that I don't want to have to wait for these outcomes to happen. I don't want to have to wait to build this thing. I don't want to have to wait to figure out how to get this process built. I just want to buy speed. I want to buy unbelievably quick results that will be sustainable and long-term and last for a really fucking long time. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that the offers that we put out are about helping someone take things off their plate or get results much quicker. And the person who wins is someone that is the type of person who, yeah, you might hop on a sales call with us and, dude, I expect you to know how to do this shit already, right? But you come to me because you want me to actually help reposition the offer in a way that only rich people want to buy instantly. And instead of it taking 3 months to figure out, because you're a smart dude and you will figure it out, but you want to know that you can start attracting people who will pay you 3 to 5 grand a month in the next 30 days and have a couple of clients sign up already. Or maybe you know you can build all these playbooks, but it would be frustrating and fucking annoying to do. And you want to know that the stuff you're putting in the playbook is actually the right stuff. And you can probably figure it out, and there might be a whole lot of testing and all these different things, but you would rather just pay me money to actually build this stuff for you and write the offers for you that get out there that actually bring those people in. And you would rather pay me to actually get the effort done on our side to build the stuff for you so you can present it to your market and to your team and all things as well. And you want someone to review your shit for you to make sure it is working. You're buying speed and buying certainty that you're going to get the results you actually want, right? Like, you're the type of person who is fucking amazing, but you want certainty and you want it to be really fucking quick that you're going to get the result as well. The people that I see do the best aren't the ones that think they can't figure it out. They're the ones that think they can figure it out, but still buy help. They still buy certainty. They still buy speed. And that typically comes with working with someone who can give them the speed from their experience or their system, whatever the fuck it is, or doing it for them, right? They know that they can figure it out. They are smart people, but they don't want to try and do it themselves because they know that they will have to wait a really long time, or that they're probably going to fuck it up at some point in time. And they just want to have less mistakes than people who have come before them that they have seen fuck up. They don't want to have the same mistakes as those people. So you've got people who are smart, who just don't want to have to deal with the shit that other people have dealt with in the past, who want to build a team, who maybe even want to have their team trained because they know the effort that would have go into that, who want their team to act like a sales organization, who bring in rich people, pay 3 to 5 grand a month. And they are focused on actually being a big visionary that is mission driven to create the outcomes for themselves, their team, and everyone else around them. And they just don't want to fucking do it alone. They want to buy the speed in being able to know that everything they're doing is right for their company as well. This is what I see a lot of people doing differently who are actually crushing, not people who are sitting there going, I'm smart and I can figure it out. Something else that I see people who are doing really well that really frustrates most people is you think that you having had said things in the past is enough for someone else to remember. And we tend to get more bored of the same message in our marketing than our market ever does. We tend to get way bored of it before they ever will. How many times do you have to see an ad? Or how many times do you have to see the same fucking offer? Or how many times do you have to see the exact same pain point until you actually even read into it or look at it? How many times do you have to see it before you actually do something, right? How many times do you have to be reminded to take the fucking trash out? How many times do you have to be reminded to follow up with people? How many times do you have to be reminded to XYZ, right? The frustrating thing is that we understand that sometimes we need reminders, and we actually need to be reminded more than we need to be told new things or trained on new things. And the frustrating thing is that the people who sit there and get frustrated by that typically lose. And the reason they lose is because if that's what we're like, then that's probably what everyone else is like too, which means that just because we spoke about this thing last week doesn't mean we can't speak about the same thing again in our marketing this week. The frustration here is I just don't know how to keep talking about the same thing over and over and over and over again. The best people just shut the fuck up and work out how to do that. The best people just shut the fuck up and work out exactly how to create those new hooks for the exact same fucking thing. The best people realize that every team member that you bring on independent of how good they are going to have to be reminded of the principles, the way we do things, the core values, sorry, I almost died. They're going to have to be reminded of the core values. They're going to have to be reminded of the principles. They're going to have to be reminded of the mission, the vision. They're going to have to be reminded of how good they are at the things that they're doing. The best people who separate themselves from the pack know that leadership in the market, in their client list, and in their team is all about repeating yourself a million fucking times until someone finally remembers it and starts changing their behavior in the way that you need them to. It's the people who get pissed off for having to do that, that typically don't get the team that they want, and typically don't get the results from the team, and typically don't get the actual results they want from their market. And it's typically because they get bored or frustrated or annoyed having to repeat themselves because their ego says that because you can remember it, they should be able to as well. But the issue is that not everyone's just like you. And if everyone was just like you, the world would be fucking boring. Let's be honest. But the easiest way to get people to model the behavior that you want them to is to constantly fucking remind them about the behavior you want them to model. In team, it could be types of pipeline stuff, being a sales organization. Why the fuck we aren't doing this type of follow-up, whatever the fuck that it is. And your marketing might be like talking about the same problem every fucking day until every person in your fucking market buys because you solved that problem and you're the best at solving that problem. So why the fuck wouldn't they buy from you? It's the people who are unwilling to talk about the same thing over and over and over and over again that typically lose, because that's what's needed for you to be able to actually create the company, the results from the people in your company, and the results from the clients in the future clients who want to actually hop onto a call with you. It's not because you said it once or twice, it's because you said it 800 times and they saw it 800 times and it pissed them off enough to actually change the situation they're currently in. This is the way to control behavior and the thought patterns of the market you currently are trying to influence. And this is the way that you are going to get the results you. And the people who are crushing the best are currently doing this, and you should model that behavior too. You shut the fuck up and say the same things 800 times over to your sales organization, to your rich person problems in the market, to make sure that you have enough examples of saying the same things 800 fucking times to put into a playbook so the team can come in and build the vision that you said that you wanted to build so people can create the income for you and for themselves and for your clients so you guys can create the fucking lives that you want as well. Notice how I keep repeating myself in this so you guys keep getting the fucking point too. Every time I repeat it, links each different part together so you can see how it all works together too. Repeating myself because I want you guys to remember it so you will model the behavior so you guys will create the outcomes that you want and get the shit that you want in your fucking life too. This is a marginal mistake. I have accidentally not done number 9. Let me put number 9 in now. Here is number 9. They outwork bad days. They refuse to settle, and they have positive expectations of everything they're going to do. And they play to their potential and not their limitations. I notice the people who suffer the most are the ones who get hurt and don't want to play the game. They fear rejection. They have a process that they're trying to implement that they don't actually see the results from really fucking quickly. And as a consequence of that, they get demotivated, beaten up, or just don't feel like this is the thing for them and then elicit shiny object syndrome as opposed to figuring out why the fuck things didn't work for them in the first place. The people who do the best have positive expectations that what they're doing will work, and they are going to expect problems to come up, and they're going to expect everything to go wrong. And what they're actually going to do is are going to create the next version of the solution. And they work every problem that comes up until they have the next solution for the next problem, next solution for the next problem, the next solution for the next problem. And if they haven't hit the client volume that they need this month, they don't sit there and just do nothing about it. They go, cool, today I'm going to get as many fucking clients as I humanly can. They don't go a day past. They don't let a day go past where they haven't booked a call. They don't let a day go past where they haven't asked them to become a client. They don't let a day go past where they don't let a project get finished. They don't let a day go past where they haven't actually held their team accountable to something in particular. They don't let a day go past where they haven't lived up to their potential as opposed to the standards that might be lower and preventing them from actually creating the life that they want because they're living in the limitation of their excuses. They refuse to play small. They outwork bad days. They put the extra hours in no matter how fucking long that it actually takes. They don't sit around and fucking mope. They use the reason that is stopping them from getting the result, them being tired. They say to themselves, the reason I'm going to win today is because I am tired. I'm going to go even harder today because I am tired. They keep, maybe the fact they don't have lead flow is the exact reason they're going to sign a client today. They don't have lead flow. Awesome. That's exactly why that's the exact reason that I'm going to sign a client today, because I'm going to go and find someone to sell as opposed to needing to be a princess who needs a new lead to come in. Like they find fucking solutions, and every excuse that someone else would normally have, they use to advantage of their own. And they say, that's the exact fucking reason I'm going to win. It's not because they are sitting there saying everything's fucking perfect. The perfect thing they do is they outwork all the unperfect or imperfect things that are happening on a daily basis, and they just don't fucking stop. The genius thing that they have is that they just don't fucking quit. They have positive expectations of what's going to happen next, and they outwork those bad fucking days. They refuse to play small. They don't live in the limitations, and they actively work to their potential, not to what just they're seeing happening on any given day on any basis or whatever else it is that it might be. This alone, if you embody this, will help you create the outcomes that you want. Because you won't give up. You won't be that little bitch inside, or little bitch voice. You won't listen to a little bitch voice inside that has you like the little bitch that stops you from getting the results you actually want. You'll actually sit there and say, independent of the way that I'm feeling or the things that are happening or current circumstances externally or internally right now, we're still going to get the fucking result. And actually, all the things, the circumstantial things that are happening right now are the reasons we're going to get the fucking result, because you can't fucking stop me. And I am better than the problem we're experiencing. And fuck you for thinking otherwise. That's the way they think. And that's the thing that they do. And this one principle here right now will create the fucking outcomes that you want. It will give you the vision. It will give you the mission. It will give you the team. It will get the playbooks in place. It will build the sales organization. It will build the sales. It will build all the outcomes you fucking want. But if you aren't acting as the motherfucker who outworks bad days, how the fuck do you expect to get the results that you want? And how dare you think that you will if you don't? Fucking stupid. I want you to remember these 9 things. I want you to remember that you have to build a sales organization. You have to think about rich problems. To know that you have to build playbooks, not just do the work. I want you to know that you have to build a big vision that brings all people into the outcomes that they can get from their own life or for their own life in the vision and mission that you're actually trying to build within your company. I want you to remember that you need to be building pipeline and selling people from the pipeline every single day and not needing new leads. I want you to remember that you have to repeat yourself 800 fucking times until something sinks the fuck in. And I want you to outwork bad days every fucking day. And if you can do these 9 things, this will be your fast growth playbook for you to be able to create whatever revenue number you could ever desire. But by doing these 9 things, you can get 3 or 4 clients a week, which can put you in a position which is fucking 10 to 16 clients a month. As a consequence of that, you can actually get anywhere from 20 to 40 grand in monthly recurring revenue increase every single month, which will buy you whatever the fuck that you want in your life. And what I want you to do, actually, if you would like to see exactly how we help most of our clients do that, I want you to go to this video in YouTube called Pre-Sell Millions, How I Build Dollar Businesses for Our Clients. I want you to look through it. I want you to go through every single thing, and I'll chuck the actual link to this in the show notes as well. And I want you to watch that and break down the types of content, the types of playbooks, the types of processes you need to have in place to be able to create the outcomes you want in your life. I want you to win. I want you to be a winner. And I want you to create the fucking life that you want. Outwork bad days. Create a business that is mission and vision driven, that actually drives the outcomes that you deserve and your clients deserve as well. And your team deserves even more, because they're working the hard work to actually create the outcomes that you want in your lives. Outwork bad days, never settle for second best, and I'll catch all your motherfuckers soon. Peace.